going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back with another player ratings video. We have lost 1-0 to Newcastle at home. What's going on at Tottenham?
I don't know, man. It's very frustrating. It's a bit worrying, to be honest, given the performances that we're putting in recently and Poch's comments.
To be honest, it's not even recently. These performances have been happening for a long time. I think at the beginning of last season, we were kind of getting over the line with shit performances. And I think towards the end of the season and now we're getting found out.
Well, it's one game, but...
Well, it's not one game because we've only won 4 games in the last 15 Premier League games.
I wouldn't say now we're getting found out. I'd say that's a bit of a...
I'm saying from back end of last season we've been getting found out.
Right. I'm saying it's not now.
Yeah, not now. But I think... when I said now, I meant after getting past those games at the beginning of last season, you know, winning 1-0, last minute goals, not playing well. After that, we've kind of been found out.
Yeah. Well, look, there's still a lot of things to happen, I think, for the squad over this season. I don't think, the squad's very settled, as Poch was saying, and I think we need the transfer window to close. We need to get everyone back on side, and we need to get our new signings bedded in. I think we could still be in for a positive season, but you know, if we don't improve things, we don't shut down this negativity quickly and let it fester, then it could turn into a real problem.
100%. And for me, the football's just a bit too predictable for me. Just sideways passing and then that long ball every time. It's just a bit of the same every game, and it's just a bit frustrating. But anyway, let's get into the player ratings.
Yeah, Hugo Lloris, start with him, gave him a 6. Made that one save from Longstaff in the first half.
Yeah.
Other than that, didn't have too much to do. Newcastle were pretty much backs against the wall most of the game. He didn't really have a chance with the goal, you would argue. And I think it was a good save from him, but he didn't have much else.
All right, yeah, I completely agree with that. Nothing much to add, really. Danny Rose, we gave a 4. Another poor display from Danny, I thought, this season. Probably his worst out of the 3, I thought. Attacking, not great. Crossing, poor. Defensively, didn't have too much to do, to be honest. But
I think he was... we'll get on Sanchez in a minute, but I thought he was also at fault for the goal. He should be covering round. He should have seen Sanchez lost his man, and he should have been aware of the danger, and he wasn't. He doesn't really sniff out the danger that well. That's what I feel with Danny Rose. Defending is very like a reactive defender.
Yeah.
And it cost us, I think, and it's not the first time. I think against Villa, it cost us as well. He was too late to react to McGinn, and by the time he got back, it was too late. And it's very frustrating. And I think sometimes he gets in this mode where he decides he's going to take on a player when there are better options there. He gets his head down. He's like, I'm just going to take him on. And sometimes he needs to get his head up and start picking players up because more often than not he loses the ball. Yeah,
I just feel like what he was so good at when he was at his best, he's bombing down that line, putting great crosses in. We just don't see that from him, especially not this season. I think the back end of last season we started to see it more, but since the season started, I don't think we've seen enough of that. And
just a quick thing as well, he had a penalty decision in the first half, and we've got these stats here, sponsored by UREF Data, which is an app which you can download, link in the description below, which is really great. They give really interesting statistics of what fans thought of the penalty decision, and 73% of fans agreed that with Mike Dean that it wasn't a penalty against Danny Rose, which I thought it was. I agree with that as well.
Yeah.
It was a weak.
I'm in that 73%.
All right. Next up, Kyle Walker-Peters. We gave him a 5. He went off injured fairly early on in the second half, and actually we improved when he went off injured. We need to see more from him. I want to see more from going forward. I think he's got some decent ingredients to be a solid right back, but I haven't seen yet if he could really push on to be a right back who's going to be like elite in that position. Maybe he can be a decent Premier League standard, but I need to see more from going forward in terms of testing those opposition and really trying to hurt them. He doesn't do that enough for me.
I mean, his defensive skills have always been questioned since he's been at Spurs, but that performance up at Manchester last week, I think, answered quite a few critics about his defensive play.
Wow.
He's up against Sterling, and I thought he did really well. People thought he was going to get absolutely terrorised. Like
there were a couple moments.
Yeah, of course there were, and there's always going to be a couple moments with his age.
But really bad ones, like that, the one where he got tackled.
But still, look, he's put in a better performance in Manchester City away than Trippier ever did. But anyway, look, Kyle Walker-Peters against Newcastle, he just didn't put in that performance that we've seen in previous performance from him. He needs to be attacking better. He needs to be putting better crosses. Like against these teams like Newcastle that put 11 men behind the ball, I think these balls in the box are so important.
He doesn't do it enough.
To get the ball, we need to get the ball wide to him and Danny Rose, and both of them need to be putting good crosses in the ball. These imperative if we're going to beat these kind of teams.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it not nearly enough.
Yeah, I agree with that. He doesn't. I don't think he whips it in enough. I think maybe it's a confidence thing still, but he doesn't take control when he's in the attacking third. He's always passive.
All right, moving on to Davinson Sanchez, we gave him a 3. Absolutely awful performance from Davinson. His fault for the goal. He was getting muscled off the ball time and time again. Was it by Joe Linton?
And he could have been sent off at the end. I think he got lucky when Sanchez, he hauled down Muto, who was through on goal, and the referee waved play on. I think he got lucky there as well. He's
so frustrating, Sanchez. I said it before the Man City game. I feel that he plays good much better in the big games than he does in these smaller games. I feel like I don't know what it is with him. He lacks concentration. He gets muscled off the ball for someone so big. And he just makes sloppy mistakes.
Yeah, really sloppy errors. That mistake is really, especially given the fact there was quite a similar error to the one against Villa. He was caught ball watching a bit, and he just falls asleep. He completely falls asleep. Joe Linton's completely free. Sanchez isn't even marking anyone. He just loses him out of nothing. All he has to do is keep tight with him, and
he's such a big lad. He's got all the tools to be such a great defender, but at times he's just so sloppy and careless. It really frustrates me.
And it doesn't help that the fact that we have Vertonghen on the bench because of supposed
makes it even worse.
Fitness issues and whatnot. And this is Sanchez's chance to kind of stake his claim and say, look, I'm in the starting 11 now. I'm here to stay. You don't even have to think about Vertonghen. I'm here. You signed me for big money. I've been here for 2 years now, and it's time for him to step up. But these sloppy mistakes, he's just not getting out of his game, and if he doesn't, then he's not going to be here for the foreseeable future, because you can't keep having these mistakes and keep costing us goals. It's not good enough. I know we gave him big praise last week for Man City, which was great, but you can't just it doesn't negate what he's doing in the other 2 games where he made big mistakes.
It's absolutely pointless going up to Manchester and getting a draw, and then Newcastle
completely
coming to White Hart Lane and we lose. You know what I mean?
And even if we keep this game at 0-0 going late, there's probably a good chance we still win the game. But the fact we gave them a 1-0 head start, that makes it so much harder, and it's so annoying with these sloppy goals we're giving away. And Sanchez, you can't be losing your man there. Can't.
We have problems against teams that put 11 men behind the ball at the best of times, and when we're 1-0 down, it makes it even bloody worse.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Next one, Toby Alderweireld. We gave him a 6. I thought it was a commanding performance, mostly from Toby. Especially in the second half, he was trying to take a lot of the responsibility on his shoulders. How many times did you see him literally on the edge of the Newcastle box, trying to help out the midfield, giving an extra man in there so he keep the pressure going on the Newcastle defence. Obviously, he didn't tell in the end, but I thought he took responsibility, and I did like that. I think defensively he didn't really have too much to do. It wasn't his fault for the goal. He was coming over and Sanchez let his man go. And I think there's been rumours lately that he'll sign a new contract and he's more open to it than before. We've got to cross our fingers, because I think he's our best shot at the moment.
Yeah, well, he looks so much better when Jan's alongside him. I don't know, not too much to add on what you said, but I think he was kind of like the shining light in that back four. Because everyone else was awful.
Yeah.
Moving on to Harry Winks, we gave him a 4. Harry Winks is kind of really starting to frustrate me at the moment. I think this season, at the back end of last season, we saw what Harry Winks can do. We can see it when he surges forward, when he drives forward, when he passes forward. But at the moment, all he's doing is passing sideways, doing a few pirouettes, 360s in the middle.
He wasn't even doing that.
And it reminds me of a shit Scott Parker display, Scott Parker, he was there to without winning the ball in midfield. Scott Parker used to win the ball in midfield, sideways pass, do a few pirouettes and spray it. But all Winks does...
He got Player of the Year that year, come on.
Yeah, he did. But that's not the job that Winks is supposed to do. Winks needs to get the ball, drive forward, pass forward, make things happen, make us tick. But he's just not doing that at the moment. Literally, all he's doing is passing sideways, and that is it.
Yeah, I think when you come up against a team like Newcastle, I think it's all well and good having all the possession, 70% possession, 80% possession, and Winks contributes to that greatly.
But when it's all sideways fine, what's the point?
There's no point. And I'd rather we lose a few balls, or if you just attempt a few through balls, you know what I mean? Try something new, different. It's all played in front of Newcastle, nothing in behind, nothing trying to test them. Have a shot from 25 yards. Yeah. How many shots do Winks have? Absolutely none. And against these small teams, you've got to come up with a different kind of plan, because this shifting sideways. I think it's important to do that because it opens up space and it shifts the defence over. So I think the passing from side to side is not completely irrelevant, but it's got to be with a purpose. It's got to be with an air to kind of looking for those gaps in the Newcastle defence and or trying to create them. And he did frustrate me yesterday.
Yeah, sideward passing, slow, no penetration, no nothing about it. There's just nothing about it.
It's just the most important. I think the most important thing in terms of that was it was slow. The fact that, because if it was fast and crisp, then that's good, because that's what you want. You want it to get to the other side as quick as possible so it creates space. But the fact that it was slow and lethargic and meandering,
slow, lethargic,
and then it doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help anything, I don't know. Look, he's still young, I guess, but we know what he can do, but he's got to improve on these performances.
Winks epitomised what the South Stand sounded like yesterday. Just boring, dry, just crap, basically. Anyway, go on.
I had to get that out. Sissoko, we gave him.
Wait, let me just stop, because I love Harry Winks. Yeah, I absolutely love Harry Winks. So don't get me wrong, but I expect better. That's the only thing. I'm like a disappointed dad.
Yeah, it's just we need quicker passes.
Yeah, moving on, go on.
Sissoko, we gave him a 4. Not too. I don't think it was too much wrong for his personal performance, but I just don't think him in midfield 2 with Harry Winks against. I thought he did well right back. I thought
he was much better when he moved to right back.
Much better, and actually, not only was he much better, he was our best attacking outlet when we moved to right back. Both of the best chances we created were from him.
Yeah.
Cutting back from the right. So you got to give him credit for that. In terms of him centre mid, look, he did a great job for us last season. Everyone can see that, and I still think he has a role to play in the squad. But him starting at centre mid with Winks, it just didn't work really, and especially against these teams who sit low, he struggles big time. And there are a couple of moments where he surged past a couple of players and he's breaking the lines, and you've got to see more than that from Musa, but it wasn't enough of it. Only about once or twice we saw it, and it opened up the Newcastle defence when he did, but. We need more of that against these opposition, because when they sit deep, his passing's not going to help us. He doesn't pass well enough, so he's going to have to use his physicality.
Yeah, I also feel that Sissoko's had a poor start to the season. I wouldn't say he's drifting back into the old Sissoko, but we definitely need to see a step up from Sissoko, because he's got all the that physical presence in midfield that we need, and especially with no Ndombele, we really needed that, and he just didn't do enough driving forward like we've seen him do in the past. Anyway, moving on to Eric Lamela, we gave him a 4 after his golden assist up at the Etihad, put in a poor performance. And this kind of is the story of Eric Lamela's career at Tottenham, puts in a great performance, scores a goal, gets an assist, and then rubbish. You know what I mean? He with no pressing, no nothing. I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything positive from Lamela. I really didn't. He got hauled off as well. At what stage? I can't even remember.
He got taken off for Lo Celso about the hour mark.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a lack of energy or lack of trying, but I just think he was playing in the centre, which I think a role which could potentially suit him. But again, another player
against Newcastle.
Yeah, it was another player like Sanchez who had a chance to be staking a claim to be in the first 11. And again, not showing enough quality in and around the box. And he's got 2 players on the wings, Son and Lucas. He wasn't interchanging with them whatsoever. The 3 didn't link up at all, and it just the football just didn't work.
Every time he got the ball, he lost it. Literally every time.
Yeah, he lost it a lot of times. And he should be trying to create chances. He should be having shots from outside the box. He should be our creative outlet, but he just wasn't. He wasn't at all. And we relied on him on our creativity, and it shows that we created nothing. So it's really frustrating, because the other players, with all due respect, aren't the most creative. Son, Lucas, Kane. They like to be playing with creative play. Well, they like to be on the end of passes and stuff like that. But that's Lamela's role, but it wasn't up to it.
Yeah.
Next up, Lucas Moura, we gave him a 5. Probably the most likely of our attackers to score. He probably had the best chances. But again, poor finishing, especially he had that chance right at the end of the first half where he missed an open goal after the Dubravka tipped it onto him, and all he had to do is keep it on target, and it could be 1-0 or 1-0 could have equalised and set up the second half. And then also he had a chance near the end of the game, about 5 minutes to go, blazed it over the bar just outside the 6-yard box. Another really poor finish from Lucas. And look, at least he's getting in there, at least he's getting the chances, because it's better than those games where he's anonymous. But again, we need to see more from him.
I don't want to put down Lucas too much for this performance, because I thought he was like, out of our front three of him, Kane and Son, I thought he was the one actually looking for something to happen the whole time. He was getting the ball, he was trying to beat men. Okay, his end product wasn't great and he should have scored 2 goals, but I think I saw energy and I saw positive things out of there for Lucas.
Yeah.
And moving on to Heung-min Son, we gave him a 5. I think the same with it was similar, you know, he was also getting on the ball, trying to make things happen, but it just wasn't happening for him. There was no space in behind. It was very difficult for him. The defenders were like kind of doubling up on him, but it was very difficult for him, but the effort was definitely there.
He had that chance and he had a volley in the first half, which forced a good save from Dubravka. Other than that, he didn't have too many chances. A lot of his shots from outside the box were very weak and tame right into the keeper's arms, which was disappointing considering he's such a good long-range shooter, and that was something we could really have used in that game. Again, another player who I really think should be utilising that skill against these kind of teams, because if we can't break him down trying to play the ball through, we've got to be taking shots, and it's not like we don't have the players for it, because Son, we had time and time again, he's been putting them in from 25 yards, so we need to be scoring that. Interestingly enough, I thought he should have had a penalty as well in the first half. More stats from UREF. 63% believe that Son should have had a penalty in the 21st minute, of 63% of fans. So people do agree that it probably was a penalty.
Not clear and obvious.
Not clear and obvious, but look, I think it's more understandable why that wasn't overturned. We'll get to the other one later soon. But I thought he was unlucky not to have been awarded one, and I think if Dean had a proper look at it, he probably would have given it.
All right, and that brings us on to Harry Kane. We gave him a 4.
Yeah.
One word, anonymous. But it was let's not be too harsh on him. It was very hard for him with, like they said with Son, 11 men behind the ball. He was always crowded out. But we just didn't see enough from him. You know, usually we see Harry Kane coming deep, trying to get the ball, trying to make things happen. But I just didn't think we saw that. And obviously his penalty definitely should have been a penalty. He got bloody rugby tackled in there by Lascelles.
He did a diving header into his foot. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
It was absolutely madness. When I first saw it, I was like, that's a definite penalty. And then it goes to VAR and they still don't give it. So I was like, all right, cool. So probably something happened. It wasn't a penalty. Then I get back and I see it. And I was like, how the hell, if Mike Dean doesn't give that, how the hell does VAR not give that?
It's ridiculous. And more stats from UREF. 92% of fans agree that Harry Kane was fouled and it should have been a penalty. 92%. So that shows you the level of certainty amongst fans of how clear a penalty that was.
VAR coming back to bite us.
And the talk about the VAR thing. I mean, it's look. I kind of defended the referees when they didn't give that penalty from. Well, we didn't defend the referees, but I said I could see the logic where for the Rodri incident that he was fouled at the penalty area, and I understood the logic against giving that because it wasn't clear and obvious. But if that Kane penalty is not clear and obvious, then I don't understand what is clear and obvious, because that is the most blatant stonewall penalty you're ever going to see. And if all VAR is doing is just not overturning refs' decisions, all they're doing is wasting time. Because what are they doing? They're just checking the decision and saying there's not enough evidence to overturn it. They're not overturning it when there's a clear obvious penalty there. So if they're just going to be wasting time the whole season and end up not overturning the decision, then we should bin it, because I'd much rather just get on with the game than wait for VAR to say there wasn't enough evidence. Why? What? It's ridiculous.
I mean, like, a lot of people talk about Mike Dean, they say this and that, but look, anyone can make a mistake and miss it. That's fine, but when it goes to VAR and they look at it and they still don't give it, something has got to be wrong.
Well, apparently Mike Dean didn't give it because it was for him. He looked like to him that was a close call, and he wanted to hear what VAR had to say. And then VAR said there wasn't enough evidence to overturn Mike Dean's decision, but he wasn't sure. So I don't understand.
Biggest load of bullshit I've heard in my life. The guy literally rugby tackled Kane in the penalty area, and he was last man as well. He should have got sent off.
Like 92% of fans agree that was a penalty. Like clearly, there's a clear consensus that was a definite penalty.
But anyway, let's not dwell too much on the penalty, because at the end of the day, penalty or no penalty, we should be winning this game.
Of course.
And I don't want to kind of make an excuse as the penalty as to why we didn't win. Like, we should be...
it's not why we didn't win.
We should be putting away these teams regardless.
Agreed, but it's just... No, it's not
Obviously, it's very frustrating.
But it's just very frustrating that it was a clear... Like, such a bad decision. I don't really understand it. But yeah, Kane... didn't get involved enough at all in the game. It was hard for him, but he wasn't really even attempting to get on the end of those crosses that the players were seeing in. There was meat and drink for those Newcastle defenders. He needs to be getting more involved in those challenges. I feel he needs to be utilise his aerial ability more. I don't think he does that. And also again, he was kind of pushed back against the Newcastle defenders. Didn't get enough shots off, which was a shame.
All right.
And Pochettino, last but not least, we gave him a 4. I thought anyway, that he got his team selection a bit wrong for this game.
Sense?
I thought that he should have started Eriksen, in my opinion.
I told you all he wasn't going to start Eriksen.
Yeah, he didn't start Eriksen.
Knew it.
I don't think
we're going to see Eriksen in Spurs shirt. I think he's going to be sold this week.
To who?
I don't know to who. I just think he's going to go. I can't tell you to who. But anyway, carry on what you were saying.
This
playing. Going to be the end of me.
Playing Lucas and Eriksen. Playing Lucas and Son together against a team like Newcastle was predictably not going to bring much joy, given how deep they sit. And these are two players who enjoy the spaces, and. You'd have to say he got the Sanchez decision wrong, given the fact that he made a huge error. And would Vertonghen have made that error if he was playing? You know, it's hard to say, and whether he was fit enough. He was on the bench.
If Vertonghen's so unfit, then why is he on the bench? You know what I mean? Been on the bench for 3 weeks running now. Oh, he's so unfit. It's bollocks. He's not unfit. There's something going on behind the scenes at the club.
Why not leave him out at all?
I have no idea.
So
I have no idea.
That's the other side of the coin. If there's something really going on, he would have left him out. Poch has no worry about leaving players out of the team.
Yeah, but at the time when Toby was having all that stuff, he was on the bench at times.
A lot of times he was left out of the squad.
A lot of the times he was on the bench. So I don't think that's kind of a way to wiggle your way around the argument. There's no two ways about it. There's problems behind the scenes at Tottenham. I don't know what they are, but there are definitely problems. I think Vertonghen is fit enough to play. I don't have anything to back that up, but it's just a feeling I have, like a feeling I had when I said Eriksen is not going to play in the game. But either way, he came on, yeah. Either way, we need to find ways to tackle these teams that put 11 men behind the ball. It's been a problem for so long now, and we just can't seem to find a way.
Look, hopefully, Pochettino's come out with this comment saying it's the most unsettled that the squad's ever been, and hopefully I'm just banking on the fact that maybe it's because the window's still open. Eriksen's future's not been decided. Toby was rumoured to be leaving. His future's not certain. There's even players like Aurier. Vertonghen hasn't signed a new contract. Hopefully, once the window closes, all these things get sorted out and ironed out between the club and the players, and we can move forward and push on this season. Because a big part of how Pochettino creates his squad is he bases it a lot around the squad harmony and everyone fighting for each other, and everyone running for each other, and the press involves everyone as a team. And if the players are unsettled, then it's going to affect that. And I don't know what it is. Look, clearly Pochettino wanted these things sorted out earlier. Even Rose as well. He's another one. His future wasn't certain. So there's a lot of stuff going around the squad. I think Pochettino talked about a painful rebuild in the summer, and I don't think he got that. I think he got a few good additions, and most of the players kept. Clearly, he was willing to let go of Rose. He was willing to let go of Eriksen. But it didn't happen. And whether that's the club's fault, whether it's his fault, I don't know whose fault it is. It just didn't happen. And now at the moment we're stuck in this situation where there are players who aren't fully committed to the club that might have to recommit, because otherwise this is going to be a waste of a season. There's no point to it. Like Eriksen. He has to commit to Spurs, because he can't afford to waste a year of his career sitting on the bench and being in out the side. It's not going to do him any good. No club like super club's going to want him. So either he leaves now, or he's going to have to be committed to Spurs.
But at the end of the day, going back to what I was saying at the beginning of the video, we haven't played consistently well for a long time now. When's the last time we played consistently well? Like,
Yeah.
like the last proper good away performance in the Premier League was what, Everton, when we smashed them 6-2.
We played well against Liverpool, didn't we? And we lost.
Yeah, we lost.
But we played well that game.
Yeah, we did play well. But I'm talking about, commanding performance, winning the game. I can't really add that Liverpool performance in seeing as we lost. But consistently playing well. When's the last time we've actually consistently played well?
Been a while, probably. I don't know. As in putting in those performances where we're winning we're scoring goals for fun and we're looking solid at the back. It's been a while, and I think the squad.
Not for the whole of last season, that's for sure.
Yeah, the whole of last season we pretty much didn't play. Any win we had, we pretty much scraped past it. And yeah, it's worrying. It is worrying.
Do you not think the Champions League run papered over a bit of cracks last
season?
season?
Everyone knew that last season. I don't think it's anything new though. Papered over that. I mean, it's a big paper over the cracks, but it did paper. It papered over how badly we were doing in the league, and the fact that we scraped top 4 as well, just negated the fact that we can just ignore it and don't have to talk about it because we're in the Champions final and we got top 4. So what's there to complain about?
If we replicate the Premier League season we had this season, it's very good chance that we finish outside the top 4 this year.
Yeah, but we're not going to. We'll improve on last season. I'm sure of it.
I don't know. I really hope so, man. I
really
hope so.
Look, yesterday was a bad result, and the squad at the moment are unsettled. But let's not think that this is the true reflection of where this squad can be. Like we've got so much to come back in this squad and so much potential. We got Ndombele, who wasn't even playing yesterday. I think is a massive part of our squad. We got Lo Celso and Sessegnon to come in and settle in the squad and give us that fresh energy. We got Eriksen's future to sort out.
Yeah, but do we have time? We don't have time for all this though. You know what I mean? The season
time. See, it's a long season, mate.
The season started. We're gonna drift further and further away from Man City, from Liverpool. Arsenal, Chelsea and United, we might keep on a level playing field with them, but we want to be closer to them.
It's one defeat.
I know it's one defeat, but it's not just one defeat though. I'm telling you, it's 4 wins in the last 15 games.
Yes, but you're talking about
but
it's a new season. It's one defeat.
This club's going to finish me.
Oh yeah, I know. It'll be the end of me as well. Look, I'm not saying there aren't worrying signs, because there are, and obviously the 4 wins in our past 15 games. That is.
There's only 4 teams in the whole Premier League that have had more wins, less wins than us. That's Brighton, Watford, and I can't remember the other 2 teams.
Our form has been borderline relegation since we lost
exactly.
to Burnley. That's for sure. I'm just saying, given in the context of this season, it's one defeat. And we have a lot of the squad to sort out. I know the season started already, but that's the reality. That's what we got to live. That's what we got to deal with. And Pochettino's been dealing with this kind of shit throughout his time at Spurs, and there's nothing that suggests that he can't turn this around. Yeah,
but at the end of the day, Harry Kane, last week comes out and said, "Oh, Tottenham are ready for the title challenge." Blah blah blah. We're not ready for the title challenge. Give me a break. And that's it. All right, we move on to Arsenal this weekend.
Yay!
We got the scum at the Emirates. We've got a lot of content coming out this week, including a FIFA battle off with some gooners, and the losers have to take some shots from other teams' vodkas. So check out for that, coming out on Wednesday. Like, subscribe, comment, tell us what you think are our player ratings, and as always, come on, Spurs!